Hey folks, welcome back to the Rocking C Homestead. My name's Lance and this is my wife Marcy. And we know that you guys have seen our dogs running around and are in some of our videos recently because we've been getting some comments and some questions about them. And we would like to take the time to kind of talk about kind of where we got them or how we acquired the dogs. It's one of our passions is to adopt and foster dogs. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today.
Yep. Well, we both grew up with dogs. And when we got married, it seemed only natural that we would have a dog. Yep. So we had a really awesome golden retriever. And on a walk one day, we also acquired another dog that just kind of followed us home on a walk. We couldn't find her owners. She and our other dog got along great, so we took her in as well. Yep. Well, we lost both of them many years ago. And when that happened, Lance was interested in trying to find a dog that maybe he could take out hunting with him. We knew we wanted to rescue a dog, so we checked the Oklahoma City Animal Shelter, and that is how we acquired our big blonde dog, Buck. And little did we know, at that moment in time, we didn't know it yet, but adopting Buck was going to take us on a long path of fostering dogs and adopting rescued animals. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We found out pretty quickly that Buck really loved to play with other dogs and that he really needed to have a buddy to play with him. He had a lot of energy, and we noticed when we took him to doggy daycare, he was a happier, more content dog in the evenings. So we looked at some options, what we could do to help him out with that, and we finally decided that we would try giving fostering a chance. So we filled out an application with our local animal rescue in Norman, where we live, and soon we had our very first foster dog, Delilah. She had just had a litter of pups, so she was looking for her forever home, and also her pups were getting raised up and getting ready to be put up for adoption as well. She was a playful, sweet dog, and Buck absolutely loved her. We had her for a week, and then we took her to her first adoption event, and she got adopted right away, which was kind of a good thing and a bad thing because honestly, we were very fond of her, and if she hadn't been adopted at that event, we might have been foster failures right out of the chute. So 1 week with Delilah, and she found a wonderful forever home.
Shortly after Delilah was adopted, we noticed that Buck seemed a little sad and just kind of missed a playmate. So we quickly was able to get another foster dog at the house named Philip. He was a little spitfire. He did like to chase the cats a little bit too much for Marcy's liking, but very high-spirited, very energetic, very cuddly. And he only lasted for a week before he got adopted as well.
After Philip, we got Julie. Julie was our one-night stand because we got her one day, took her to an adoption event the very next day, and you guessed it, she got adopted right away and found a wonderful new forever home. She was a loving, sweet, gentle dog, and we're so glad she found a great home.
So after a while, we noticed that all the coming and going of all the foster dogs seemed a little rough on Buck. He seemed a little depressed after everyone left, and so we decided, well, maybe it was time for us to just adopt a permanent forever home dog. So we were lucky enough to be able to go back and actually adopt one of the puppies from our first foster dog, Delilah's, from her litter. So we actually got Molly. And of course, ever since we brought Molly home, her and Buck have been best friends, even though at first she was probably the annoying little sister and wanted to be all over him. But they have definitely worked those issues out and have become best friends, and super glad that they both have each other.
We really thought that once we had adopted Molly and we had our two dogs that we would be all done with fostering, but our work was not finished yet. We got a call from the organization that we fostered through, and they had a dog that had just gone through their prison training program, and they really needed a home for him to go into instead of coming back to the shelter. And that is how Seamus came into our lives. Seamus was a sweet, sweet, gentle, loving soul, and he wasn't really too much into playing with the other dogs, but he really loved watching what they're doing and occasionally joining in for the fun. We again only had him for about 1 week before he found his forever home.
Once again, we thought we were done fostering dogs, but as life has it, we weren't. A Facebook friend of ours came across a dog and found it and was able to get it into the adoption system if we were able to foster it. And of course, we agreed to foster this awesome dog. We ended up calling it Dakota, and it was a great dog. And well, I think we had it for a week, and an old friend of the family adopted it, and we still see pictures on Facebook of him today being spoiled rotten.
Surely we were done fostering at this point. Nope, we weren't. It was several years later, but we found a dog out on my husband's family property. Actually, he and his father found it when they were out hunting. It was a black Doberman, female Doberman, who had clearly just had a litter of puppies. They couldn't find the litter of puppies anywhere, unfortunately. And it was super, super cold that week while they were out hunting. And she managed to work her way not only into their vehicles that they were traveling in, but ultimately into their house. Again, we were able to convince our local shelter that we've been fostering through that if they would officially take her in as a rescued animal, that we would foster her. And she has been with us ever since. Yep, Noelle became our first foster failure, and now she's that black Doberman that you see running around in all of our videos. Fostering dogs can be a very challenging thing to do, but we have found it to be extremely rewarding. Of course, whenever somebody fosters a dog, that frees up a spot in the shelter for them to rescue another dog. So basically, fostering saves the lives of 2 dogs. It also does a lot of other great things. It prepares the dog to live in a home, which ultimately makes them easier to adopt. It helps you to test them out with other dogs, with other cats, and with kids so that you can find the best possible match for that dog. And you can also start working on the basic things like basic commands, going in and outside to potty train, things like that. So although many people say they think they could never do that, and I can see that, it's hard. It can be hard and it's challenging and it's sad when a dog leaves your home. But the rewards that you get from that and the dog gets that from that and from the other animals that are able to be rescued when you foster, it's totally worth it.
All right, so there's an overview of how we got into fostering and adopting animals. Now, we do understand that there are specific times and reasons why somebody may want to actually go out and get an animal for a specific job. You know, if it's a livestock guardian dog or security dog or something like that. However, one thing I would say is, there are some rescue and adoption agencies out there that are specific to certain breeds, and you never know. You may be able to find one in your state that may fit with that, and that would just be another option to be able to save another dog. But we do totally understand where you may have to do it in a different way. And, we try to live by that. Would rather adopt than instead of shopping. But, we know that there are times.
So also wanted to let you know about a couple of things that are just right on the horizon for us. Starting this coming Tuesday, we're going to launch a new series that we're going to call Learn Along series, Learn Along Gardening 101, something like that.
Yep.
That's something we really haven't done much here at the homestead, and this year we're taking the plunge and starting to do some gardening. So we're just right at the very beginning,
Yep.
and we just want to take you along on the process. If you want to learn along with us, we'll be launching that on Tuesday. We're looking forward to your comments.
Definitely.
We're all about getting your feedback and your
suggestions.
So we'll be looking for your help as you learn along with us on gardening.
Yep, for sure.
And also coming up on Friday
Yep.
is the second video in our Chickens 101, how to get started with chickens.
You won't want to miss it.
Nope, you'll want to check it out. So that'll be this coming up Friday.
Yep. Well, guys, thanks for staying around and watching the video all the way through. If you haven't already, there's that little subscribe button down there. Click on that subscribe button. And if you see that notification bell, click that notification bell so you get notified every time we do upload a new video. We really appreciate you guys coming back, and we're going to catch you on the next video.
Bye.
Bye.